This week we're working on passing the guard. So one strategy I like to use is, let's get to a good half guard first, and then we'll pass the half guard. If I know really well how to pass the half guard, then all I have to do is get to the half guard. Some guys can have a really tricky guard. If I try to figure out how to pass every guard that's out there, that's going to take a lot of work. But if I can figure out just how to get to half guard, and then have a really solid half guard pass, that's going to serve me well. I'm going to have a chance to pass a lot of different guards. So this guard pass is, we can use a gi, no gi, and MMA. That's the techniques I like the best. This is a pretty simple pass. So I'll show you. So Colin's down here. So I managed to get to a good half guard. So a good half guard is under the forearm and under the head. If I get here, now I get a good chance to pass. One other note here. So when I'm in this position and I'm trying to get there, and I'm trying to pass, in my mind, a lot of things I try to do is I just try to hang my chin over their shoulder. If I can do that, that kind of holds me in place and it keeps me out of danger. So in other words, if I'm playing down here, if I make a mistake, I might end up in a triangle choke, right? But if I see that opening, once I get my head up here like this, it's really hard for him to do a triangle choke or other techniques. And it's going to start to put my body in the right position to pass. So that's one of the keys I'm going to be looking for. Try to get my head up there and hang it over his shoulder and get good arm position. So I might not even have a great arm position. So I hang my head up here, then I can get my grips and get a really good position. So now, from here, we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to try to turn his face this way, and then I'm going to try to turn his hips that way. Because if I do that, then I don't need this underhook. This underhook helps pin him. If I'm over here, if I don't have the underhook, he has the underhook. He's got a lot of different things he can do. He can get up and get to my back. So it's important I have this underhook. But if I can turn his head and face the other way like this, now this underhook is less important. So now that frees up this arm so I can use this arm for this. Okay? So here's how I like to turn his head. I go palm up and I grab his head. I start to turn it. I put my head to the mat like this so I turn his face pretty good. So I'm holding his head like a football between my upper arm and my forearm. So Tiki Barber used to hold a football like this after he fumbled all the time. People today don't know who Tiki Barber is, so I don't know if that's a good reference or not, but just like this, okay? I get here, grab his head, turn it, I put my head to the mat. Now, his face is facing this way. I want his hips to face that way. So I'm going to walk my legs that way, get his hips to face that way. I want to keep my left leg good up, high up on his body. Now, if I need to, I can use this hand to free my knee and get my knee to the mat. So now I'm in a pretty good position. If this was MMA, I would keep my head down probably and just punch from here or posture up and strike from here. I wouldn't even worry about having my foot here. This is a really dominant position. If I was for sport jiu-jitsu, usually I got to get to a complete mount. I got to get my foot out to get points. So if I want to get those points, what I'll try to do now is get his face to look the other way. If I get his face to look all the way the other way, this tends to open his hips up and let my foot out. Most people don't have that mobility in their spine to look all the way this way and squeeze your leg all the way that way. So here's a way that I use a lot of pressure to turn his face, but I'm going to keep him safe and not hurt him, not poke him in the eyes or anything like this. I take the back of my hand. When I'm down here, I stay close. I sneak the back of my hand here like this, and I start to turn his face. And then I put all my weight on his face here like this. And then I get my leg out. So there's a lot of pressure with my hand on his face. If you think that's too cruel for your training partner, maybe just put your chest on there, but I don't think you're going to injure him. It's not going to feel pleasant, but come like this. See, if I start doing this, I might poke him in the eye. So if I just use the back of my hand, I think it's pretty safe. I start turning like this, I put my weight on my hand. It's unpleasant for him. And then I get my feet under, across my feet, I have a good mount. So, again, I'm going to turn his face, turn his hips. Once his face and hips are turned, I can use my hand to free my knee if I need. Then I want to turn his face back and get my full mount. I get my chin over here, pin him down, get my Tiki Barber grip, turn his head, walk my feet. Now I can use this if I need it Now I turn his head back the other way, and I get to mount. Okay? Let's give this a try. Nice thing.